On January 1, 2025, Houston welcomed in the new year. A year that was looking very promising for the city's professional basketball team, the Houston Rockets. The squad had won 21 of their first 32 games on the schedule and were third in the Western Conference with less than 10 games to go before the halfway point of the regular season. Just below them in the standings were the Dallas Mavericks. Last year's Western Conference champions recently suffered a big blow as Luka Doncic injured his calf on Christmas Day and would be sidelined through January. Kyrie Irving would lead the Mavericks into their New Year's Day game in Houston, hoping to avenge the loss they took to the Rockets on Halloween at the American Airlines Center.
You got to move. You got to move. You got to move, child. You got to move. But when they're long, get ready. You got to move.
Amen Thompson was serving the first of a two-game suspension for manhandling Tyler Herro in the Rockets' previous game, and Tari Eason was also out, missing his seventh straight game due to injury. The starters performed well across the board and in an expanded role. Due to the absences of Eason and Amen, Cam Whitmore put in yet another impressive performance, scoring 18 points on 7 of 9 shooting and helping the Rockets get their second win over Dallas on the season. Despite his strong showing, Cam was still frustrated with his uncertain role on the team and not confident about his ability to improve his situation.
You don't feel good about how you played?
I do, but I mean, it's nothing.
Is it kind of just a weird spot with where you're at right now?
No, not a weird spot. Just don't know. Just don't know what's going on. I just have a lot of question marks for myself.
In what way?
No other way. It's just I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the deal with me is, but yeah, I just don't know. Really know.
The next team to travel to Houston would be the team that defeated Dallas in last year's NBA Finals, the Boston Celtics. Ime Udoka's former team, now headed by Joe Mazzulla, were strong favorites to win the Eastern Conference once again, and their success was predicated on the basic mathematical principle that 3 is more valuable than 2.
Getting good shots, but we can get better shots. Don't settle for the step back 3 unless it's late shot clock. That'll go for all of us, myself. Every time we drive, we get a wide open 3.
The Boston Celtics were pushing modern basketball theories on floor spacing and shot efficiency to limits that had never been seen before, shooting almost 53s per game, accounting for well over half of their total shot attempts.
I don't think the NBA all of a sudden is going to have a bunch of three-point shooters and playing a bunch of small lineup.
Opinions about the direction the modern game is taking have recently led not only to pundits and former players leveling harsh criticism at the three-point heavy style that is becoming the norm, but also an official investigation into the matter by the league itself.
That's a lot of threes, man. There's a great debate going on why our ratings are down and people are not interested in NBA. But if you're just going to come out and have a three-point shooting contest every night.
The beginnings of this tidal shift in how the game of basketball is played began in Houston, or more accurately, Rio Grande Valley.
The style of play with Rio Grande is to shoot as many threes as possible, A lot of corner threes, a lot of transition threes.
In his desperation to win a championship for the city of Houston, Rockets general manager at the time, Daryl Morey, a pioneer in using analytics to optimize his team's on-court execution and his front office's decision-making, arrived at the conclusion that the best way to win basketball games was for the offense to consistently take the most efficient shot possible. Morey identified layups and three-point shots as the shots that produced the most points per attempt and thus set to work on creating the most efficient offense the league had ever seen.
Talk to Daryl, once a week or so, and the coaches kind of funnel stuff through him about what we want to do. The way we play, it's a numbers system. We create so many possessions, so our possessions are so high that the stats are going to be there.
He instructed the Rockets' G League organization, the Rio Grande Valley Vipers, to engineer their offense to produce as many high-value shots as possible.
It's a lot of touches. We get a lot of shots up, and we play very fast.
Rio Grande Valley set a league record for threes here tonight.
Morey also pushed for the Vipers to play as fast a pace as possible, reasoning that more shot attempts would naturally lead to more shots being made. In 2014, the Vipers averaged 109 possessions per game, over 10 more than the 7 seconds or less Suns. It wasn't until 2017, when he hired Mike D'Antoni, that Daryl Morey was able to fully realize his theories on the big stage of the NBA and revolutionize the game of basketball as we know it.
You may be high, you may be low, you may be rich, child, you may be poor, but when the Lord gets ready, you got to move.
The James Harden Houston Rocket teams of 2018 and 2019 broke NBA records for offensive efficiency and three-point attempts. This provided a blueprint that the rest of the league would use to design their own interpretations of the modern pace and space offense. A wide variety of innovative shot adjustments and offensive sets have been developed over the past 5 years. The Celtics have arguably developed the most effective version of the pace and space style to date, and it was on full display inside Toyota Center on January 3rd.
You see that woman that walked the street. You see that policeman out on his beat. But when in law get ready, you got to move.
And look, when Mike D'Antoni was the head coach of the Houston Rockets, the Rockets were the first teams in NBA history to take more than half of their shots as threes, as you see there in 18, 19, and 20. By comparison, the Celtics take better than 55% of their shots as three-pointers. It's never been done before, even by what the Rockets used to do, which was a surprising thing for the league back then. But the Celtics now basically 5 percentage points more on threes in terms of attempts of overall field goals than the Rockets ever did under MDA. And you see the three-point discrepancy to start this game. That's a big thing. And he dunked it down on top of Şengün. They're second in league in offense. They average almost 120 a game, and this is what they do. They take and they make three after three after three. Cornette, though, the offensive rebound to Pritchard, his shot from the corner, and he makes it. They have so many good shooters. Now their three-point field goal percentage this season is down about 2 percentage points from what it was a year ago, but still, with volume, they get up so many, and when they make them, look out.
In the first quarter, Boston made 7 of their 12 three-point attempts, putting up 37 points on one of the best defenses in the league, and made 5 more threes before halftime. Houston was still without Amen Thompson and Tari Eason, and to make matters worse, starting power forward, Jabari Smith Jr., broke his hand during practice and could be out of action for up to 2 months. In the third quarter, the Rockets held the Celtics to 2 of 8 from downtown and just 17 points total, but their offense generated just 16 points as the deficit grew heading into the final quarter.
But the Rockets still trail by 10 with 3 quarters of basketball in the books, trying to win for the second time in a row on this 5-game homestand.
Boston's game plan, the efficient three-point heavy offense combined with an aggressive defensive tactic of crowding Alperen Şengün in the paint with length and daring Houston to beat them from downtown, worked to perfection.
They're not leaving Şengün.
Not at all.
That's what they're forcing.
And he got that open look, but Holiday misfired.
They're saying when he spins and we help, we don't care about the kick out for those three-pointers.
It was really the fourth. It was they kept shooting and we didn't get the rebound. They were getting the second chance points. That just messed everything up.
How do you guys adjust to being without Jabari now for the next month or so?
Next man gotta step up. I mean, we get a man back, so that'll help out too.
That only goes after the small back.
The final contest of what had so far been a disappointing homestand would be against the Los Angeles Lakers, their first matchup of the season against LeBron James' team. The greatest player of his generation had recently turned 40 and was playing in his 22nd season in the league alongside his son Bronny, who was drafted by the Purple and Gold over the summer.
You got to move, you got to move. You got to move, child, you got to move. But when the Lord get ready, you got to.
We've seen from Steven Adams all game long, hitting the glass and using his touch.
Holiday draws two. The extra pass. Whitmore's wide open. Good. One of the newest members of the Lakers, Finney Smith, will take his first free throw tonight. Makes it. And the Rockets up two again. Two on Green, trapped in the corner. Throws up a top shot. Oh my goodness! A shot that turned into a pass thanks to Amen Thompson. The prayer was answered. And the Rockets win this game. 119-115. Amen Thompson back on the floor, back from his suspension. 23 points, a season high, 16 rebounds, a career high. And the Rockets have built a 22-point lead, hang on, and win it by 4 to wrap up this homestand with a win over the Lakers.
I thought certainly Jalen Green's shot making was huge for them, but Thompson just killed us all night, whether that was in transition with his cutting or on the offensive glass. I think there definitely is a difference in the sort of 1% athletes, and he's one of them. I think all NBA guys are in the 1% of the general population. He's in the 1% of the NBA population.
But look at this. Unbelievable. Amen Thompson. Heart over height, man. Blocking Bol. Give me that.
After ending the final game of their 5-game home stretch on a high with a win over the Lakers, the Houston Rockets flew out to the nation's capital for a game against the Washington Wizards.
State funeral was held today in D.C. for President Jimmy Carter, who passed away at the age of 100. And an interesting note, President Carter was the first president to host 3 major sports teams after winning championships. Ironically, one of those was the 78 NBA champion Washington Bullets. Remember President Carter today?
Since the Washington Wizards last won the NBA championship, 7 men have served 11 full presidential terms. The franchise have begun its NBA journey in the city of Chicago as the Packers in 1961. They renamed themselves the Zephyrs for their second season and once again rebranded in 1963 as the team relocated to Baltimore and became the Bullets. Following a decade in Baltimore, the team once again relocated, this time to Washington, D.C., becoming the Capital Bullets in their inaugural season before switching to the Washington Bullets in 1974. The championship team of 1978 were led by the top 2 picks from the 1968 NBA draft, the Big E, Elvin Hayes, and Wes Unseld.
Elvin Hayes, the top college basketball player in the country, was drafted number 1 and signed by San Diego. Wesley Unseld, another college star, was drafted number 2 and signed by Baltimore.
Unseld had spent his entire career with the Bullets, but Elvin Hayes' early career was spent in the city of Houston.
Tigers now have the longest winning streak in college basketball, a 71-69 upset win over UCLA.
He helped grow the popularity of basketball in the region while playing for the U of H Cougars and returned to the city in 1971 when the San Diego Rockets relocated, becoming the first professional basketball team in the state of Texas. The Big E clashed with his head coach during his first season back in Houston, which was not the first time this had been an issue. This paved the way for his move to the Bullets, where he would achieve his greatest success in 1978. After returning to the finals in 1979 and losing, he spent 2 more years in Washington before returning to Houston to spend his final 3 seasons before retiring at the age of 39 as the league's oldest player.
Third all-time rebound. Third all-time points.
Kelvin Hayes in the paint. Can he put it down? He does, and that's it. 25,000 points.
I thank Houston and the Rockets and just really all the fans to have had the opportunity to play for you.
The Bullets wouldn't put together a competitive team for the rest of the century. In 1997 they renamed themselves to their current namesake, the Wizards, due to the owner's concerns that the Bullets moniker was helping promote gun violence in the region. In the 2000s, Gilbert Arenas led them to the Eastern semis where they were swept by the Heat. The team would reach the East semis 3 times the following decade with different incarnations of the John Wall, Bradley Beal, Marcin Gortat teams. The Wizards haven't been able to win more than 35 games in any of their previous 6 seasons, hitting an all-time franchise low of just 15 wins last year. The game between Houston and Washington on January 7, 2025 was one that Ime Udoka's team were expecting to win comfortably.
Rockets taking on the Wizards for the second time this season. The Rockets won back in November, 107-92.
Having to run down there, come up with this loose ball, having the recognition of the shot clock, 3 seconds and pulls from the logo.
5 seconds to go. Thompson over the green to close the second. Three will put the Rockets up 2. Back to Green. Wizards got to get back on defense.
Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun took the game over in the third quarter, scoring 36 between them, breaking the Wizard spirits heading into the fourth where Cam Whitmore would twist the dagger in with 13 points on 4 of 5 shooting in garbage time.
This will close this one out as the Houston Rockets will pull off the regular season sweep of the Washington Wizards.
Good, how are you?
Good. So was there any type of conversation kind of throughout the last few weeks about possibly going down to the G League, or was it something that kind of happened recently?
It kind of happened recently, but I was super excited when they told me.
Jones ran out of real estate. Goes around the horn. Shepard, a 3, and he got it.
It was all positive on my end. Just super excited to get the chance to come down and play basketball. When they told me I wasn't mad, I wasn't upset. I was actually really excited. Just getting the confidence back up, getting reps, getting back in the flow of everything. Basketball's a hard game to play when you don't play the game a lot. You know, you can work out as much as you want, but getting in the rhythm of and the flow of the basketball game is really hard to do if you're not playing. You know, there were a couple of the guys text me today and were telling me just to go out and have fun and just enjoy it. So, you know, it's really cool knowing that they're still keeping in touch, and those are my teammates, so it's really cool that they kind of have my back no matter what. I think I'm supposed to head back Sunday morning, but you know, we'll see how it all plays out. But you know, in the meantime, I'm super excited to be down here, and I'm looking forward to the week of practice, the week of workouts, and these next 2 games that we got coming up. So hopefully we can get out and get 2 wins while I'm here.
Goes all the way around. Hinton picks it up. Shepard again. He's got 46 now.
Back in the big leagues, Reed Shepherd's teammates were leaving the nation's capital, headed for Memphis, Tennessee. The Rockets had leapfrogged ahead of the Grizzlies for second place last weekend and now look to solidify their position in the standings in this head-to-head matchup between the 2nd and 3rd seeds in the Western Conference.
With Ryan and Vanessa, I am Craig as we get you ready for the Rockets and the Grizzlies, a matchup of number 2 versus number 3 in the West. Edie for the Grizzlies. Edie wins it, Memphis has it, and for the second time on this 3-game road trip, basketball is underway, and we're so happy to have you with us for this exciting game. But Memphis strikes early and strikes first. Now the Rockets have it for the first time. And there's the former Grizzly, Dylan Brooks. They're going to tee him up. He hung on the rim just a tad bit too long.
Houston started strong, scoring 45 points in the game's opening quarter and maintained the lead heading into the 4th quarter. Green and Sengun once again led the team in offensive production.
Foul again. This has been a game that's featured a lot of fouls, a lot of free throws, a lot of whistles, and the Rockets are about to take free throws number 38 and 39. The Grizzlies have gotten up 25 of them, and as awesome as Sengun has been here tonight, he has now missed 8 free throws himself.
Sengun struggled from the free throw line throughout the contest, shooting less than 50%, and as the game was coming to a close, points were getting harder and harder to come by.
Van Vliet the crossover, the drive. From 18, jumper good. Closing seconds of the ball game. Bain hit the shot, but guess what? It's not going to count because the Grizzlies go to timeout. Defending the inbound. Morant comes into Bain. Fouled by Van Vliet. Only took 0.6 off the clock.
The Rockets held on to the lead down the stretch as the game became a free throw contest.
The line, 3.2 to go, his team down 2.
Violation.
On Memphis! Makes them both.
Aaron Holiday remained calm at the line and Houston earned the 25th win of the season.
The Houston Rockets. Since they've lost to the Celtics, they've won 3 straight. Alpi Sengun. He's an all-star. Can we agree on that? Yes. He'll be an all-star. And he had 32 last night, 12 for 20. 26 against the Wizards. It's the Wizards, 12 for 23. He averages 20 and 10, shoots 50% from the floor, and he averages 5 assists. And you know, one thing I love about basketball, unnecessarily fancy passes, and Alperen Sengun will give you 1 a game.
The team were due to travel to Atlanta for an early Sunday game against the Hawks, but due to icy weather conditions the game was postponed and the Rockets traveled back to Houston where they would face the Grizzlies once again, this time looking to lock up the season series and secure the playoff tiebreaker over them.
Into the block on Şengün, lost his balance, and gave the Grizzlies the lead. Fans rising to their feet. Number 2 versus number 3 in the West. Again, 2 on Green, gets by the 2, drives in on Clark, Hayes banks, hits Houston by 1.
When in doubt, do what you do best. Love that from Jalen Green. Now you got to get a stop.
He's tied his career high with 42, and Morant loses the ball.
I guess he just make this and try to get a steal.
He missed a boat! Rebound Houston! And they foul Van Vliet with 2.7 to go.
Let him shoot it.
Baines for 3 with 0.4 to go. What a half he's had. Into Van Vliet, and the Rockets make it 3 for 3 against the Grizzlies this season.
I'm going to give this kid maybe the best compliment. You know what Thompson is. He's a super Tony.
He's everywhere.
Watch his ass. He's everywhere. Because he's long. He's long.
First team all defense.
He shoots over 50%.
Well, damn.
Hey, no, 50% from the field, but he's not going to make threes. Yeah. Free throws are super dicey too.
Super dunker guy.
But when he is on the court, it is absolute havoc.
Yeah. Yes. He had 5 blocks as a guard.
Bro, he is unbelievable.
Double-double. What a double-double.
Hey,
he's everywhere.
And then, it looks like a track star flying up and down the court.
There's a man, Thompson. Ahead to Green, pulling back history. Yeah!
Oh, that's a good job. That's a great job.
CBS News reporting the president-elect is considering Tillman Fertitta for U.S. ambassador to Italy. The Rockets owner and head of Landry's has been a longtime GOP donor. Recently joined Donald Trump and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk for the Starship rocket launch last month in Boca Chica. Spokesperson for Fertitta is not commenting on the word of this ambassador position at this time.
After defeating the Memphis Grizzlies in their 2 previous games, the Rockets were giving the city of Houston plenty to be excited about.
Unguardable, unless it's me. Tell him that. Hello.
Welcome back. What do you feel like you learned those 3 games in the G League?
I think I learned a lot. I think the biggest thing was just getting my confidence back.
The ground is being held by the 2-seed Houston Rockets in the West right now. How big on the surprise list do you have them?
You look at it, you look at the standings now, all of these young teams that are up and coming, they're here now. They've arrived. This is no longer a coming out party. These teams are here to take them serious. We're getting close to 40 games. We're getting to that halfway point right now. So none of these things are flukes anymore. The Houston Rockets aren't a fluke anymore. What OKC has been able to do, what the Memphis Grizzlies have been able to do. These are teams that are turning their corner. They're going to put a lot of pressure at the top. So no surprises here. You got to give respect where it's due.
To drum up excitement for the team even more, owner Tillman Fertitta was featuring a $25,000 half-court shot for fans as a regular halftime show. As an added twist, contestants have to first make a layup, free throw and a 3, in order to earn an opportunity at the $25,000 shot from half-court. So far this season, at least 3 fans have walked away with the grand prize. It is unlikely this is going to make a dent in the fortunes of the Houston Rockets owner, whose net worth has drastically risen since he purchased the franchise for $2.2 billion in 2017. Fans aren't the only people to have made impressive heaves from the half court in Toyota Center. The team's mascot, Clutch the Bear, has been practicing his no-look, backwards half-court shot for over a decade. He has gained such mastery over the technique that he now releases the shot in the middle of a backflip.
As you watch Clutch with the long half-court shot.
Players will regularly attempt heaves from half court and beyond at the end of each quarter, but increasingly, players will protect their field goal percentages and intentionally release their shots after the buzzer. Some of the great shooters of the game, most recently James Harden and Steph Curry, have made amazing shots from the half court in Houston. Lesser-known players have also had their moment in the sun.
Back to Johnson from 55 feet. Oh, it's good! He banks in a 55-footer.
Still got a second left.
There goes the man. He'll try to retaliate. He does! In the final 3 seconds, a pair of mid-court shots.
The Rockets below 40%. Brooks got it. Count that one from half court for Aaron Brooks.
That's the play of the week.
What's he doing? They had 5 seconds left.
They thought it was 0.8. It was 8 seconds.
I'll tell you, folks, I have seen a lot of things in a basketball game, but not as many as tonight. Corey Brewer misses. He didn't have to shoot.
While with the Timberwolves in 2010, Corey Brewer forced overtime with a miraculous buzzer beater from the backcourt.
Corey Brewer has sent the game into overtime. What a shot by Corey Brewer.
When the Shanghai Sharks visited Houston for a preseason game in 2016, NBA bust Jimmer Fredette had his prayers answered at the end of the third quarter.
Good, it goes, and it does for Jimmer Fredette. The running 3 from midcourt to end the third quarter.
As NBA offenses continue to increase the space they have to operate by positioning shooters further and further beyond the arc, players are increasing their accuracy from ranges that would have been considered absurd in previous eras. So far, Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green had been earning the big contracts they had signed over the offseason. Although still heavily reliant on Fred VanVleet, Ime Udoka's trust in Sengun and Jalen is growing as he has gradually allowed him to take the reins of the offense and, depending on the matchup and flow of the game, has gone to them more in clutch moments. They look to continue growing in their new leadership roles as the team flew out for another 3-game road trip, starting in Denver. The Nuggets were without Jokic and started DeAndre Jordan at center in his place. Former Rocket, Russell Westbrook, now on his 6th team in the past 7 years, was also starting. Both were named to the All-NBA first team in 2016, and over the next 48 minutes, fans in Denver would hope the veterans could keep up with the pace of the young, run-and-gun Houston Rockets.
I've never seen, the Rockets in this position since I've been here. We was always at the bottom. So just seeing that turnaround and the table turn, it's a good feeling. But we know, we can't get big-headed with it. We got to stay steady level, even keel. And like I said, we got goals. We're trying to get to the playoffs even further if that. So it's just a build-up right now, and I'm glad that, we doing it.
16. And Westbrook chatting it up with Jalen Green.
He's talking to the whole bench.
Looks like he's got the bench. Looks like he's a stand-up comedian.
No coaches, even the head coach got crying.
There we go, man. How do we get this guy on our team?
And looking at the Houston Rockets, they continue to blast off with the 20-point win over the Denver Nuggets. They sit in second place out west.
And yet, I don't know that anyone's looking at the Rockets and thinking, yes, they are ready to actually contend in the West.
They should.
Okay.
They should. They have all the pieces. They got a lot of young players. They got a lot of young motivated players, and they have veteran leadership and Fred VanVleet and everything that they've been able to build. So they check all of the boxes. This is a defensive-minded team. They're a tough team. As many skirmishes as they've gotten into this year, they're telling you, we ready to play basketball. We ready to fight. We down for whatever y'all with. We with it. So we're one of those teams that we're going to show up to the arena night in and night out, and we're going to be able to compete. We're going to be able to fight, and we're going to do everything that we can to put ourselves in the position that we're in right now.
Wow, plus 1,500 to win the Western Conference.
After a comfortable win in the Mile High City, the Rockets traveled west to Sacramento, California for their second game of the season at Arco Arena. The Kings have had a rotating cast of head coaches for the past decade, and since the first game between these two teams, they had fired head coach Mike Brown, and his replacement, Doug Christie, was on a roll. Sacramento had won 8 of his first 10 games at the helm, and with 20 wins and 20 losses now on the season, they had recently moved ahead of the Phoenix Suns for 10th place in the West.
The Kings have moved in a little more than 2 weeks from number 12 to number 9, and they are full steam ahead.
So now we got the Houston Rockets and the Sacramento Kings coming up. And Houston, one of the young teams, is this a surprise to you to see as well as they're playing?
I would say it's not a surprise that they're playing well. It's a surprise that they're second in the West. I think everybody's surprised they're number 2. Yeah. I mean, Emmy's a terrific coach. And now they're learning actually how to play basketball.
They've won 6 in a row on the road, and a win tonight on the road would match their win total on the road from last year. Won 14 games on the road. Last year they were a 500 team at 41-41.
Tari Eason was returning to the lineup for the Rockets after being absent since the NBA Cup semi-final in December.
A missed shot right there with the rebound by Tari Eason, who's missed 13 straight games and is back in tonight, which is great to see.
Welcome back to Sacramento. I'm Taylor Rooks. The NBA trade deadline is 3 weeks away, and there has been some speculation around what moves the Houston Rockets could potentially make. I spoke with Rockets general manager Raphael Stone, who reaffirms they are not entering the trade deadline looking to do anything. He emphasized that he loves where the team is. They love the growth and development. He said, of course, it's his job to take every phone call, but said, quote, the goal sitting here today is to keep this team together. So some pretty strong commitment from Raphael, Kevin.
Sabonis just a little lackadaisical there. Thought it was just going to be a handoff. Wasn't really ready to play defensively. Şengün took advantage. Look at this finish. Did a great job battling on the glass, behind the back, finished with contact on Jeff Green, and he's at the free throw line.
There's a steal. It's Thompson, and he glides in around the defensive rails, and a timeout taken by the Kings. And the Rockets go up by 1. 15th lead change. Houston on the road, showing well on TNT. It's DeRozan and Brooks. Good spin move. Here's DeRozan. Clock is down to 5. Brooks will defend.
That's great defense by Dylan Brooks. DeMar DeRozan has been frustrating great defenders for a long time in this league.
Holiday is in. It goes off to Şengün. It's Green, a 3 for the tie. Rebound, Şengün loose inside, grab DeRozan. 1.3 and a Rocket foul.
Was great execution by Houston. They got their best shooter a great look at a 3 to tie it. He's upset with himself.
The beam was lit in Sacramento once again as the Kings successfully held off the Rockets down the stretch.
It's always a great feeling when you drive home and see the beam lit.
All right, give us a like the beam.
Thank you.
Thanks, DeMar. Back to you, Kevin.
The Kings have won 5 straight games at home, and there is the beam.
What's your thoughts over on with Houston and Amen Thompson?
My thoughts on him?
Yeah.
He's extremely tough, man. Tough. His ability athletically, what he's able to do is amazing. You know, as long as he stick with it, he could be special in his league. You know, he do a lot of great things on both sides of basketball, and you can see his confidence, you know, getting better and better every single game. So I think the kid definitely will be special.
Before heading back to Houston for 2 quick home games, the Rockets visited Portland for the 3rd game of the season against the Trailblazers.
Take the shot, goes behind his back, jumps it into Şengün. Two-handed bend. The two-handed stuff there. Dylan Brooks with another great pass.
After a back-and-forth first half, Houston took the game over in the 3rd quarter on their way to a blowout victory.
He's Michael Jordan in Turkey, based on what my coaches said when they walk around with him in the summer. So I think he has a lot more when he goes home, and he's kind of used to it now.
Hey, I'm Alperen Şengün. I had always big dreams. I started basketball in Giresun when I was 8 years old. Now I'm playing with the big stars in NBA with high scores. Let's check out my highest scores in Turkey.
Do they need to add? We've talked a lot about how many pieces they have, and they're pretty well equipped if they did want to go out and do something. As is, are you good with it, or would you like to see a tweak?
As the Rockets returned to the Toyota Center to play the Detroit Pistons in an early Martin Luther King Day game, trade rumors continued to swirl around the team.
I like it as is.
All right.
You know, even with them dealing with injuries, I would say probably beef up a little bit in the front court, but you have it. You have enough guys to go out and compete, and you don't want to rock the boat, especially when you got a team. You're already sitting at the top of the West with 2 other teams, and you're playing really good basketball going into the halfway point. Why even shake the boat? Stay where you are.
The long-discussed Jimmy Butler homecoming no longer looked to be on the cards as Phoenix and Golden State had emerged as the frontrunners to land the disgruntled Heat star. Potential trades for De'Aaron Fox or Devin Booker still look more likely in the offseason, but a slew of preposterous trade machine hypotheticals were still being flouted by journalists across the country.
The MLK Day game between Detroit and Houston was the 3rd time Amen Thompson would face his twin brother, Ozar. It was the first time they met as starters.
Ausar Thompson sprints down the lane, reversed it, drew a goaltend. That basket counts. And the Pistons are on the board first here in Houston.
After a rocky start to the season in Detroit, Cade Cunningham was coming of age and was a big part of the Pistons' recent surge to becoming a solid 500 team in the East.
Ron Howland open in the corner, and he triples.
Pistons knocking him down from downtown. That one turned the lights out.
Sure did. I mean, that's
a lights out shot.
Yeah, shot the lights out.
Well, the Pistons are 4 out of 8 from behind the long line, and they stopped the game because the lights went out. Now the lights are back on. Jalen Green pass to Sengun, goes behind him. They're still trying to recover it. Green has it in back court. Over and back is the call.
Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green both struggled throughout the contest, going a combined 13 for 35 from the floor.
Won't shoot it. The Pistons will win it.
It's always just fun to play him. Obviously I'm trying to win every matchup. Unfortunately, that's not what happened today, but I'm going to have to hear about it. I'm not even going to open my phone, bro. I can't even do it. I got his messages on silent.
How many times now have you played against each other in the NBA?
3 times.
And what's the record?
2-1. 2-1, me.
Favorite part of playing against each other?
Talking trash. Yeah, it's fun. Honestly, just our bench is really just like my bench would be like, oh, he's not the real AT. It's a fact, but.
Do you miss each other?
Oh, man.
I do not want them to make a single significant move at the trade deadline. For them to bring on a Butler or like a Levine or some sort of we need a go-to scorer, playmaker guy to make a title run, this isn't the year for that. You're progressing great. You finished the season on a hot streak last year, didn't make the play-in, fine. Then you're going to be a playoff team or a play-in team this year, guaranteed. Just progress naturally with the team that you've drafted. Just keep it moving in this direction.
Make a win.
How old are you turning today?
29.
Okay.
Last year for 20s.
After the loss to the Pistons, the Rockets welcomed the Eastern Conference frontrunners to Toyota Center.
As the Rockets were playing the Pistons on Monday afternoon, the news broke that Jalen Green was named the Western Conference Player of the Week, and deservedly so. Going to need more of the same with the best team in town tonight. From the Toyota Center here in downtown Houston, Space City Home Network presents Houston Rockets basketball, as tonight it's the 28-14 Rockets facing off against the 36-6 Cleveland Cavaliers. Welcome into our cover to Rockets basketball right here on Space City Home Network. The Rockets are in the midst of an incredibly difficult stretch of their schedule over the next 3 weeks, and especially coming off of that loss to Detroit. How the Rockets navigate this stretch might ultimately determine where they finish in the standings at the end of the year. The Cavs are 36-6, 21-2 at home, 15-4 on the road, have the second best net rating in the league. Also come into this as the best rated offense in the NBA. This will be a challenge, this will be a test.
The Cavaliers were among the new wave of young teams that were currently taking the league by storm. Like the Rockets, the Cavs roster is built around a core of recent draft picks, bolstered by the addition of smart, veteran signings, and were being guided to success by a new head coach who was widely respected for his ability to mold talented youth into part of a formidable competitive unit. In 2021, the Houston Rockets passed on Evan Mobley to take Jalen Green with the second pick in the draft. He was out for this game but would likely return when the teams met again in Cleveland later this week. The Cavaliers joined the league 55 years ago in 1970 as the Rockets played their final season in San Diego. A local Cleveland sports fan and former postman, Nick Milletti, became the team's first owner and brought in the basketball coach from his former college, Bowling Green, to guide the Cavaliers through their first seasons.
Our ball right here. Now just stay together. Just stay together.
After a rough start to his career in Cleveland, Bill Fitch eventually garnered respect around the league for turning the Cavaliers into a formidable team and will move on to coach a rookie Larry Bird in Boston, guiding him to his first championship in 1981. He moved to Houston in 1984, where he would coach another great of the game in his rookie season. He helped the Rockets reach the NBA Finals in 1986, but lost to his former team in 6 games.
He looks, he gives to Jordan. Jordan to the circle, puts the shot in the air. Good! The game's over, and the Bulls have won.
In 1988, the Cavaliers met Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls in the playoffs for the first time. The matchup wouldn't be a favorable one for them.
Cartwright got it in for Scottie Pippen. Pippen brings it up against Craig Elo.
By 1994, the Cavaliers had been sent home by the Bulls in 5 of the last 7 postseasons.
By Price, dump to Michael. 6, 5, 4. Michael strip, got it back. 3, 2. Michael falls, fires. Yeah!
He does it again!
The Bulls win. He looks at the crowd. At the buzzer. This crowd is stunned. Michael right over Wilkins and in his face. And the Bulls have swept the Cleveland Cavaliers.
They weren't a serious organization for the next decade until the greatest basketball player of all time, who happened to hail from Akron, Ohio, joined his hometown team and gave the city of Cleveland hope that they would be led to the promised land. Despite a historic start to what would become an enduring career, LeBron James' first stint with the Cavaliers is remembered for his collapses during clutch moments in the playoffs. He would leave the team in the biggest media spectacle in the history of sports in 2010, but would return in 2014 and eventually gave the city their first championship in professional sports by overcoming a 3-1 deficit against the Golden State Warriors in 2016.
This will always be home for him, no matter what jersey he's wearing.
So as you saw, there was a lot of appreciation for LeBron. Everyone just happy that he was able to deliver a championship to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So as they say, time heals all wounds, but at least in this case, a championship does.
Following his second exit from the team, the Cavaliers' subsequent rebuild has been a success, and in 2025, they are one of the league's most exciting young teams.
This is the Verizon's Orbit Cam that we're watching here. Beautiful shot there from Jalen Green.
Mitchell from the corner, and he's 2 for 2, including at 3. Cavaliers, this is the best shooting team in the NBA. The Rockets are playing here tonight. Here's Strus over Green, and he makes a 3, so they've already made 3 threes to start this ball game, and that's why they're up by 7.
I'm jumping up, falling down. Don't misunderstand me. You don't think I don't know your plan. What you trying to hand
Look at this. I mean, this is ridiculous. Even just the attempt. I mean, and look, he's jumping from one side to the other of the rim, and it's Cam Whitmore right in the pocket. But man, those guys have got a lot of energy.
And Whitmore, corner, 3! Down again. Cam Whitmore and Tari Eason putting in some work here in the first quarter, and the Rockets outscored the Cavs 25-9 over the last 5+ minutes of that first quarter. Van Fleet to Thompson, corner, 3! Haven't seen one of those go down, it feels like in a while, but he made that his first of the game. He's got 9. Fred again, this time a little bit of a heat check.
After controlling the game throughout, the Rockets started the fourth quarter with quick buckets from Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore, but suffered a 7-minute scoring drought that let the Cavaliers take control of the game.
Van Vliet tracked by multiple defenders and just lost it out of bounds. Things are not going well here over the last couple of minutes for Houston.
Garland's been tearing Houston up with those floaters and layups inside.
Turnover Houston, they're falling apart. Garland again into the paint, missed it. Nobody put a body on Merrill.
They found themselves down by 6 with just 3 minutes to play when Fred Van Vliet knocked down back-to-back threes to tie the game back up.
Dylan Brooks up top to Van Vliet, launches a deep one, hits it, and ties the game!
After Alperen Sengun put the Rockets up by 2 from the line, Tari Eason committed an obvious flagrant foul on Darius Garland.
And there was a foul! They fouled him on the 3, Tari Eason and Darius Garland, a 90% free throw shooter, just got fouled on a 3 as Tari Eason stepped into his landing spot.
He did.
He absolutely did. That is absolutely a foul. And now Darius Garland, 90+% at career high, but he has missed 3 free throws here tonight. His father Winston had a 7-year NBA career from 1987, missed again. Through 1995, he played the 92-93 season with the Rockets, his dad did. He appeared in 66 games, 4 starts, and averaged 6 points per game that season. So you got a 90%er who's now missed 3 free throws here against the team that plays the best free throw defense in the league.
See you, big fella. Ball don't lie, huh?
Ball don't lie, I guess. And they're going to look at this to see if it might be more than just a plain old common foul with that step under by Eason.
It has been determined that the distance covered by the defender on the closeout was reckless. He also gets underneath the shooter's landing where he rolls his left ankle. The ruling on the floor has been upgraded to a flagrant foul, penalty 1. 3 shots for Darius Garland, and it'll be Cleveland ball, side out.
That is literally the worst case scenario that could have happened from a Rockets perspective.
The Rockets commentator, Craig Ackerman, is the self-proclaimed best in the game at free throw defense and believes he has jinxed a number of players into key misses in clutch situations this season.
And again, you got one of the best free throw shooters in the league here. He has missed 3 tonight, but he's at 90% for the season. One more. Oh, are you kidding me? He missed them both. And he's got another. He's 2 for 7, Garland is, at the line tonight. Who would have thunk it?
As Darius Garland proceeded to miss his first 2 shots from the line, it was hard to argue with Ackerman's outlandish claims of being first-team all-free throw defense.
Protect the rim, call out the switches, communicate.
Donovan Mitchell would have one more opportunity to improve his team's league best record, but missed the potential game winner.
And the Rockets survive! I have no idea how they just survived that 4th quarter. No clue. None whatsoever. Everything that just happened there on that Garland shot, plus the 19-0 run that the Cavs hit the Rockets with in the 4th quarter, and they still win the game. Shocking.
The Rockets had stolen one in Toyota Center and looked toward the rematch in Cleveland in 3 days' time. The game would be the first of a tough stretch where the team would be on the road for 8 of the next 9 contests. The Cavaliers were out for revenge, and Evan Mobley was looking to prove the Rockets had made a mistake by drafting Jalen Green ahead of him.
Only twice this season have the Cavs lost 2 straight games tonight. They look for a bounce back against the Rockets as the tip is eventually grabbed by Donovan Mitchell, and we are underway. John Michael, Brad Doherty, and Serena Winters. Donovan Mitchell opens the scoring. VanVleet's picked up by Mobley, forced a tough shot there as Mitchell grabs the loose ball as Evan Mobley with immediate impact on that defensive end. Mitchell for 3. Hey, he's got it. There's Strus inside. He's watched by Green off to Mitchell. Another. He'll feed the post. Sengun down there with a shorter Strus. Back out it goes to Brooks. He'll repost. Now he'll snap a pass to Green off to VanVleet. VanVleet for 3. VanVleet hit 7 of those in Houston 3 nights ago as he gets on the floor. VanVleet picked up by Allen, finds Thompson, who breaks out of the corner. A set shot by Sengun is true. He has 10 first half points. Mobley inside on Thompson. He'll put it up. Thompson with the block. It comes to Brooks.
The Rockets had built up a comfortable lead by the third quarter, but the Cavaliers put together a run to trim the lead to single digits.
And the Cavs are going to play a hack of Steve Adams. So Merrill fouls Adams. He's at 53% for his career. This season, 36%. He's missed the 2 free throws he's taken tonight. Adams' first is perfect.
There you go, John.
One more coming.
Yep.
Checked in tonight, 16 of 44 from that line. So there you see the numbers. The Cavs play the percentages too, and now Tristan will hug Steven Adams. So Steven gets set for free throws.
That's out your head. Tell you what.
Steve hits both.
Their plan to intentionally send Steven Adams to the free throw line backfired and spurred Houston on a run of their own as the lead grew back to 19 just before the start of the fourth quarter. Cleveland mounted yet another comeback effort, slowly trimming down the deficit until Darius Garland tied the game up with less than 2 minutes to play.
Garland has 2 free throws with a chance to tie. There's one.
Big shots. And Darius Garland's been magical throughout this entire game.
Sengun just back into Mobley. Gets to the paint. Hooks, misses. Thompson follows. It's a 3-point game. 60 seconds to go.
The Rockets did just enough to regain and maintain their lead as the contest once again came down to a shootout from the free throw line.
Thompson makes both. The Cavs have 1 timeout remaining. The Rockets 2. Garland off to Mitchell. Mitchell for 3. VanVleet grabs the long rebound, and he quickly gets fouled as Donovan had a good look.
He did. Got the shot we wanted for him.
VanVleet hits both. It's a 5-point game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give the Rockets credit. They came in and tough place to come play, and they did a good job.
Your final score, Rockets 135, Cavaliers 131.
You blocked Evan Mobley on a post-up attempt. Evan Mobley is 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Are you surprising yourself at this point?
No, come on. I do that.
What do you think of his block on Mobley?
Oh yeah, he does. He did that last year, the ball on ball too. So I'm not surprised for that. You know, I mean, one of the most athletic guy I ever seen in my life, so that's not surprising me.
Played with a lot of great athletes. What are you seeing from Amen Thompson?
No, he's definitely one of the greatest athletes that I've seen. Yeah, dude's just a freak of nature. Yeah, he's just unbelievable, dude. And it's not even just like, oh, he's so strong, athletic. Like his ability to like read the body language and understand what's like a fake and what's not. There's a very overlooked skill. He has it, where it's like a feel of like, okay, is he turning? Is it actually a drive, or is it like a fake drive that's setting me up? He's got really good. And also, what helps him is that he has a large window for error. You know what I mean? That's where the athleticism buys you some time.
Up next on the road trip was a trip to Boston to play the Celtics. It was an opportunity for revenge for the Rockets, who had lost to Boston at the Toyota Center earlier in the season.
The Celtics have won 8 of the last 9 in this matchup, and they've never lost to their old head coach, Ime Udoka. For this great matchup, number 2 in the West, Houston, against number 2 in the East, Boston. A hot start for Dylan Brooks. Good traveled out to Brooks. Another one. Man, he's smoking. This is going to be a fun game. Eason off the mark. Rebound by Whoa. He's a freak show.
What are we watching?
Houston took the lead in the first quarter behind a 14-0 run that was spurred by the athletic play of Amen Thompson.
Porzingis going to work against Brooks. That's his first. Dylan Brooks, another 3, his 6th bomb tonight. That matches a career high, and he's talking to us. Come on.
No way.
I mean, he does all that talking, and then he flops, and he gets the call.
Oh, give me a break.
Dylan Brooks was also providing an offensive spark, lighting the Celtics up from behind the arc. Boston kept the game close, recovering from a double-digit deficit in the second quarter and eventually earned a double-digit lead of their own at the start of the fourth before Houston once again fought their way back into the contest as the final buzzer drew closer.
Houston, they just don't quit.
They do not.
They just don't quit.
Under 2 minutes. Thompson streaking. Brooks for 3. No! He hit another one. His 10th 3. 90 seconds left. Here comes Tatum. Head of steam against Şengün to the rack for 2. JT ties the game.
The teams traded baskets down the stretch, executing quick, well-drawn-up inbound plays that left both defenses helpless.
10.3 seconds left. Porzingis the catch. Finds Tatum. Got to go in a hurry. Defended by Thompson. Gets inside and scores. Ties the game with 5.3. Timeout, Houston. How's that for clutch? Van Vliet to inbound. They find Thompson. He drives. His career night ends with a game winner. .7.
Find Pritchard.
No timeouts. It's Pritchard for the win. Too strong. And Amen Thompson wins it for the Rockets and has a career-high 33 points. Ime Udoka, his first win against his former team.
But give the Rockets credit. They were down big in the fourth quarter. They fought back. And they had some guys that were 100% about coming into this place and getting a win.
And this man made a big play. Go-to.
How would you describe the feeling as that shot left your hands and you knew you guys had it?
I felt great. I knew that. I knew this real. That's my first game winner. I feel like Kobe.
A career high 10 threes. When did you know it was your night?
Oh, shoot. I had 10 of them?
Yeah.
I just felt good all day.
Well, the Rockets are on an incredible run right now, Molly. They've won 9 of their last 11 games, and in those 9 wins, we're talking about they won in Denver, which was one of the hottest teams in the league at the time. They won in Memphis. They just beat the Cavs twice, including winning in Cleveland over the weekend. And then they win in Boston, being down 12 in the fourth quarter. And Amen Thompson, this is a guy absolutely on the rise, one of the most intriguing young players in the league.
Yes, Amen Thompson, this brother, I'm here. Hear me good, Wendy. This is a future star in this league. You see, Wendy is so right. He plays bigger than what he is. He's a tenacious defender, definitely a damn good rebounder, got nice size on him, tremendous athleticism, plays with a lot of energy, is fierce, got a lot of heart, etc. I love what I'm seeing from Houston right now.
Poke it away. Now they get it over 5 seconds for Şengün, dunks it to end the game.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Jimmy. Happy birthday to you.
In the West, first-timers, Jalen Williams, Victor Wembanyama, Alperen Şengün, who, by the way, will not be playing tonight for the Houston Rockets. James Harden's in there, Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis, and Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies, who will you see as they play host to the Houston Rockets.
Congratulations, guys.
Yes, indeed. And
it's an honor to make the All-Star game.
This game I've been looking forward to, and I mean, they're the number 2 and number 3 teams in the Western Conference. Houston 2, Memphis 3. And Sam Amick, the great writer for The Athletic, had a piece about a month ago about the mindset of this Rocket team, and it said it's kind of like this rebirth of Detroit's bad boys. They're not going to take anything off anybody.
I mean, listen, they play with great energy. They play together, but I'm looking forward to the Ja Morant, Jalen Green matchup.
Well, Ja Morant's out tonight.
Okay, so Ja Morant's out, so forget that. So back to the Rockets.
Let's take out our opening lineups now. Steven Adams will take the place of Alperen Şengün, who is bound for the All-Star game. And Luke Kennard will take the place in the starting lineup of Ja Morant.
Adams, very familiar in this building from his time being a Grizzly. Look for him and Brooks. Try to get a little payback versus their former team. Desmond Bain with the little spin move off the glass.
It's Dylan Brooks, another former Grizzly, on the floor for the Houston Rockets, and puts it in. Little crossover here for Jackson with the dive and an offhand 2.
Ime Udoka cannot be happy defensively with his team. We talked about at the top, this is the 4th best defensive team, and right now Memphis getting anywhere they want on the floor.
And 5th in points allowed, number 4 with the rating, 5th in defensive field goal percentage for the Rockets.
The Rockets and Grizzlies both came out of the gate strong on the offensive end to open the contest, and Houston took a 38-33 lead into the second quarter. They would extend their lead going into half-time, but Memphis were hanging around and keeping the game close.
Jackson the move, Tate is there, open 3-corner Altama.
Another scoring blitz in the third led to a back-and-forth final quarter as the Grizzlies looked desperate to avoid the season sweep in their final matchup with the Rockets for the year.
What a move here by Dylan Brooks. Put him in the spin cycle. There's the contact. And the emotion here by Brooks. Here's that long deuce by Desmond Bain.
Yeah, just had that foot, just had that toe.
Now you've got Jaren Jackson with a potential 3-point play here to get back in this ball game.
And the Rockets without their all-star center, Şengün. He's out with a calf injury. Green fans on number 2. There's Şengün. Is trying to stick on Kennard. Now Tate is on him, and Kennard down the lane. Jaren Jackson, the long strides take him into the defensive end. And that makes it a 1-point game.
And this is when you have the veteran leadership, and a former champion in Van Vliet controlling the offense.
Bumping into Clark once and twice and falling and down on the floor. Shot clock at 5. Van Vliet goes against Jackson. Crossover, puts up a 3. No! And Jackson will be at the line. A 78% free throw shooter. Dylan Brooks is gone. Jackson tonight from the stripe, 4 of 5. To tie. Each team has one. Jackson at the stripe to break the tie. In the corner they got Eason. That's the 5 for the Rockets, and here we go. Houston down by 1. Van Vliet fought 3, takes a 3 for the lead. Inside they fight. Buzzer game. The Grizzlies have won.
On the last play Thursday, is there anything that should have been done that you guys can learn from the next time you have that situation?
Yeah, I think you'd still want, they switched a little bit and then Clark went under. I think you still want Amen to attack a little bit more there. And even when he did that, he got Fred a decent look because they shaded toward him a little bit and took away his driving lane, but he can still attack and get downhill, I think, pull it out against Clark. And, Fred got a decent shot. Can't really complain about that.
After an uninspiring home loss to the Brooklyn Nets, the Rockets began another 4-game road trip. As they prepared to face the New York Knicks in the world's most famous arena, trade rumors were reaching a crescendo as the deadline for moving players was just 3 days away. Luka Doncic's unexpected move from Dallas to LA had the basketball world wondering who would be the next big-name star on the move.
So now I think it's going to be crazy the next 3 days because Thursday's the deadline, obviously. But if you're like, wow, what can the Suns do? What can Minnesota do? What can the Lakers do? The Lakers got to do something else, in my opinion.
Knicks have scored 40 points here in the fourth quarter. Will it be enough? Lost the ball, picked up by Brunson. Remaining. And Thompson's going to put up a 3, and that'll do it. Another masterpiece from the Knicks captain. Jalen Brunson would not let the Knicks lose tonight as they get their grittiest victory of the season.
But you won't let me love you.
It feels like we're still dealing with the reverberation of the Luka AD trade. That shook the NBA world in a way that no single transaction has in a very, very long time because it was just so stunning.
Just 2 days before the 2025 NBA trade deadline, the Houston Rockets played the Nets in Brooklyn after suffering their worst loss of the season to them over the past weekend in Houston.
to snap their first 3-game losing streak of the year. And trade deadline is Thursday afternoon, so we'll see if there are any other, it's not going to be anything as shocking as that, but any other big moves that will be made between now and then. Russell, a 3, way off, rebound batted around, still loose, Williams has it, and Thompson just takes it away. Here's Shepherd, pull up 3, off, Şengün the tip, no. Thompson, one more, Green, way off. It springs light for Brooklyn. 3-on-3 the other way. Russell to the corner, Williams, you bet! 1-point game.
When you're the Rockets, you have possession. You want to take some more time and create a quality look. That's the exact opposite they did, and it worked out well for Brooklyn as they come down to the other end and get a great opportunity. The first one by Shepherd, you come up with a rebound, and then that shot by Green just ill-advised.
When Jalen Green went to the bench there, Ime Udoka, as well as Dylan Brooks, Steven Adams, all grabbed him to say, what are you doing?
Honestly, the shot went up, and you saw every player on the floor for the Rockets look at him wondering why he was one putting that shot up and doing so that quickly.
Here's some pressure applied to Brooks. Shot clock is at 8. Şengün, there he is. Şengün gets fouled. You called it, partner, and Şengün will go to the line.
Well, and what you do like is that he has struggled from the free throw line, just 4 of 10.
Hits the first free throw. Şengün hits both. 3-point game. Timeout, Brooklyn. Here's Johnson looking in. Lobs it back to Claxton. Claxton finds Russell. Russell working behind Claxton. Russell, the drive, he lost the handle. Just dribbled it off his foot out of bounds. Nets will try and force a steal and then have to foul with 20.7 remaining. Şengün hits them both. Russell gets it into Johnson. Johnson hastily up the floor. Nets have to move in a hurry. Johnson crosses over and slams it down. 3-point game, 10.6 to go. Inbound goes to Brooks, and Brooks is fouled with 9.5 remaining. Brooks misses the first, though. There's life. Had been 4 for 4 from the line. 9.5 to go. Huge free throw here. Brooks got that one to roll in. It flirted with disaster, but dropped in, and it's a 4-point Rockets lead as the Nets spend their final timeout. 9.5 to go, Nets down 4. Owoma has to get it in, finds Johnson, a deep 3, is good! It's a 1-point game with 6.9 to go. Inbound, stolen away, Russell, you bet, he got it! Nets lead, 3.4 to go. Thompson looking in, gets it to Green. Green turns the corner, a 3 is off, and Brooklyn steals this from Houston.
I'm the one-man army, Eason. I never been tooken out. I keep MCs looking out. I drop signs like Crosby dropping babies, enough to make a look go crazy. In the G building, taking all types of medicines, cause you thought you were better than a son. I keep planets in orbit while I be coming with deeper and more
We have more breaking news here in the NBA. Our Shams Charania reporting that Sacramento is finalizing a trade that sends De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio. It's a multi-team trade that also moves the Chicago Bulls' Zach LaVine to the Kings. Brian Windhorst contextualized this for us.
Victor Wembanyama has a running mate now with De'Aaron Fox. It's what De'Aaron Fox wanted.
I don't even like your profile. It's like, wow. Man,
how did this trade come about with Jimmy Butler?
The Warriors really prioritized going out and getting Jimmy Butler for most of today. They really have been on the hunt, canvassing the league for a star player to pair with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green.
Then watch me put the low down as you below zero. Without a doubt, I never been.
There's two things you should know about any kind of KD situation. It's before 3 o'clock. One is he makes $51 million. The second thing is he has a contract situation. His contract is up in a year, and typically this is a time where you would know. You'd either extend or you would move on. And so the Suns need to maybe have a conversation with Kevin about the situation and about where he's at.
I honestly, if we're just talking about teams, I think the Houston Rockets make the most sense.
Interesting.
Because here's what Houston has. Houston has all of Phoenix's draft picks in 2025, 2027, and 2029. And if Phoenix wants a soft rebuild, that's how you start doing it here.
Let me speak to that. The Rockets, the message that they have sent out is that they love their young team.
Yes.
They do not want to do something like that now. We'll see what happens in the summer after you see them in the playoffs.
The trade deadline passed and the Houston Rockets stood pat. The franchise decided to wait and see what the young core were able to do this season, despite some speculation that they could maximize their competitive edge by adding a go-to clutch time scorer.
Shame on you when you step to the old dirty bastard. Brooklyn, Brooklyn, shame on you when you step to the old dirty bastard. Brooklyn, shame on you.
After 4 straight losses, Ime Udoka was hoping his team could right the ship against Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
The old dirty bastard. Brooklyn, what? Shame on you. Shame on you when you step to.
Dylan Brooks is just trying to get him to the head.
Crowd rises to his feet. They love the animosity. This is a Bruin rivalry. Brooks gets under the skin of everybody.
Oh my.
And got tied up with Ant coming down the floor.
Jason takes it from Nas, and Nas goes back and tries to get the possession himself. He's playing physical. Nas has been through the battles before. That is a tough dude. You can't pump no Jersey guy, man. Like, you're not going to do that to Nas Reed.
Hey, Crunch wants in on it. Even when you feel like you have daylight. Şengün, a highlight. Again, he's a problem.
For 3.5 quarters the game was tightly contested, but with just 5 minutes remaining the Rockets' offense went cold.
No Fred VanVleet for Houston impacts their end-of-game situation a bunch. Elmer Şengün leads them in clutch scoring. And actually, Jalen Green is second. Fred VanVleet's third, but he's the guy that sets the table.
Edwards on an island. Step back three. Yes! Right in his grill.
That's got to be careful.
Whitmore the answer and does.
Cam Whitmore's three-pointer with 3 minutes remaining was the only field goal Houston would make during the game's final stretch as Anthony Edwards powered the Timberwolves to a 13-point victory.
Whitmore on the drive, puts it up and off. Tapped out, Alexander Walker has it. They'll run out the clock. Wolves will win their second in a row. The Rockets have lost 5 in a row. Edwards loves it.
Anthony Edwards has left everything that he's had on the court these last 2 nights.
Ime, how was Anthony Edwards able to have the impact that he did?
Obviously, he's number 1 in the league in attempted threes off the dribble and percentage-wise, so let him get in the rhythm there. Obviously, 18 early in the first half. When we went after him fourth, couldn't trap him, couldn't guard him one-on-one, couldn't get through pick and rolls, and so it's nice to have a special player that can get buckets at the end.
The Rockets would head back to Texas, making one final stop in Dallas to close out the road trip. The Mavericks were looking to showcase the new face of their franchise, Anthony Davis, who they had acquired from the Lakers in the Luka Doncic trade.
The 384th player to take the floor for the Dallas Mavericks in franchise history, Anthony Davis. Here's a corner three that's good for Amen Thompson, who's only made 14 threes this year going into play today, a clip of 23%. Now Şengün against Davis. And Şengün got to the body, and then a block shot. Amen Thompson is a good defender, but there's certainly a mouse-in-the-house situation here as Davis scores over.
There's nothing but shit in there. There's nothing in there, I swear. Shit, nothing but a shitty organization.
Davis on the post-up this time. Eason, another good defender. Davis scores.
Anthony Davis had a strong start to his first game as a Maverick and gave his new team the early advantage by outmuscling Houston's defense, putting up 14 points, 8 rebounds and 3 assists in the game's first 12 minutes.
Can I give you guys a quick Anthony Davis nugget?
Sure.
That is the first time in his history as an NBA player that he has had a quarter with 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists.
Wow.
And 1 block.
Wow. Rockets are 0 for 11 from the floor this quarter, which includes that sequence where they had 6 shots on 1 possession, ending with a Daniel Gafford block.
Dallas maintained their lead going into the second half, but Ime Udoka, tired of seeing his team getting pushed around, began the third with a double big lineup of Steven Adams and Alperen Sengun.
And to match up with size, here's Houston starting the third quarter with Adams and Şengün. Here's a face-up for AD against Steven Adams. No good. Şengün pirouettes, finishes. Timeout.
The strategy appeared to be working as the Rockets slowly clawed their way back into the game.
For 3, Şengün. Wow.
He's gone full Jokic.
First 3 of the game, 16 points now for Şengün.
He's showing you that he is an all-star.
With 2 minutes left before the final quarter, Alperen Sengun drove to the rim and slammed down a ferocious dunk. Anthony Davis was clearly hurt after the play despite not getting any contact and would have to come out of the game. His dominant performance was brought to a premature end, and reports following the game suggested he could be out for over a month.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I don't feel good about that.
Nope. And the unfortunate thing is that today Davis is sitting on the second most points scored by a Mavs player in their debut.
The Rockets continued to push for the lead and got to within 4 with less than 3 minutes remaining, but the Mavericks held the Rockets at bay to earn the win.
Kyrie waiting for support, a drive, a kick, Max Christie organized to shoot it and buries it, and a welcome to Dallas, Texas moment for the young man from Chicago. A week that has been difficult and emotional and shocking and sad. And,
all of the above.
Yes, and a roller coaster of emotions. But they needed that win, this group of guys did on Thursday night, and they needed this win, and these home fans needed this win in front of them today.
Shout out to these fans.
Mentally get through the dog days leading up to the All-Star break? A lot of teams go through that.
I mean, it's still like a next game mentality.
Once we get done with, this break, these last couple games, I think we'll be fine.
The loss in Dallas was the Rockets' sixth in a row, and concerns were growing as the team's defense had fallen off dramatically since Jabari Smith's injury, and their offense was struggling to create good opportunities down the stretch of games since Fred VanVleet went down with an injury 5 games back against Brooklyn.
We've had the injuries have hit us more than guys being tired. Yeah, everybody's going to be tired, both teams on the floor. So it's that time of year, and just making an all-star break and health more than anything. And you miss out before those 3 games, and obviously Fred is probably our most important player as far as getting us organized and calming everything down when it's going awry a little bit. So that would be more than the actual guys that are on the court, because everybody's feeling that.
There were just 3 games remaining on the schedule before the team would get a much-needed break for All-Star Weekend, and they were hoping to get back to winning ways as they returned to the Toyota Center to face the Toronto Raptors.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead.
Despite an unconvincing performance, Jalen Green and Cam Whitmore hit some timely 3-pointers to snap the losing streak. The next team to visit the Toyota Center would be the Phoenix Suns, a franchise that were in disarray following their recent failed attempts at trading Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant.
I'm tired of talking about them. They trash, they have no leadership, and they're just riding it out for guys to go their separate ways, right?
Do you want your career to end in Phoenix?
Man, I want my career to end on my terms. That's the only thing. I didn't want to move, and then as a player like me, I cost a lot. Me going into your team is gonna make it's gonna be a whole new era of your team when I get to your team. I'm still of value, you know what I'm saying? For me looking at it, I'm just like, it just don't make sense for either side right now to go through that. You know what I'm saying? When we just play the season out, and if that's the decision you want to make, in the off season, then you figure it out.
So big.
Poor coaching, a severe lack of depth, and bad team chemistry had led to a slow start to the season for the Suns. They were below 500 and had lost 5 of their last 6 games.
According to ESPN Analytics, the Suns have just a 26% chance to even make the play-in and a 4% chance to reach the postseason. Phoenix also has the NBA's toughest remaining schedule. What happens with the Suns this summer, Wendy?
Yeah, well, they're going to trade him. 1 year from now, the world can be different for the Suns. They can change this around, but it's going to get changed around with the KD trade. The KD trade that they're going to make is going to help or hurt, but help them do it. So their future is really how do they get 1 year from now and have turned things around.
Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You'll never know if you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. And all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold.
There are so many connections to Kevin Durant on this Rockets team. Jeff Green and Kevin Durant were rookies together for the Seattle Supersonics. KD works out with Jalen, Jabari, and Fred every summer. Kevin Durant and assistant coach Royale Ivey, both Texas Longhorns. Get this, Royale taught KD how to drive. But one of the biggest connections is head coach Ime Udoka. Ime played against KD, coached him in Brooklyn, and 2 summers with the USA team. Ime said over the summers in LA, it's been great for our young guys to work out with him and see what it takes to be great.
So many cool nuggets there, Vanessa. So Royale taught him how to drive?
Yes, yes.
Kevin Durant is going to be a Houston Rocket next season. It's so obvious right in front of them.
Wow.
Right? They're going to color up with a bunch of their young players and their draft assets, and they're going to get Kevin Durant, and they're going to be a championship contender next season. Why wouldn't that works for both sides? When we talk about the Rockets, we always say the same thing. Who is their go-to guy? And if you put Kevin Durant on that team, and you're going to have to give up some stuff, which is fine. They have stuff to give up. that team, there's no who is our go-to guy to get a bucket at the end of the game. And that's a championship contending team.
Kevin Durant had 34 points last night in their loss to Memphis, becoming just the 8th player in NBA history, the 9th player if you include the ABA, to score 30,000 plus points. And he now has 18 points and just tied Dr. J in all-time career points.
At this point, with no Booker and Bill, you got to go get them. Obviously, Royce O'Neal is hot. Keep the ball out of his hand. Again, right at you. That's a one-man fast break after a made basket. Love to see that.
They're missing 3 regular rotation guys, including one of the elite guys in the league in Devin Booker, and right now they are taking it to the Houston Rockets as Durant makes another shot and is now officially passed Dr. J on the all-time scoring list. 8-1 Rockets run, looking for more. Into Amen Thompson, 2 more.
There you go, speed the pace up. This is the team that played last night. They do not want to get up and down the floor.
Tari Eason, he streaks to the rim, too strong on the layup, got it back, and then hit the reverse. And the Rockets have the lead. It's a 13-1 run, and it all happened in the blink of an eye.
It's a cool place, and they say it gets colder. You're bundled up now, wait till you get older. But the media men beg to differ, judging by the hole in the satellite picture. The ice we skate is getting pretty thin. The water's getting warm, so you might as well swim. My world's on fire, how about yours? That's the way I like it, and I'll never get.
Has a couple of guys with him, takes it himself.
Houston just looking for any type of energy. You got to assume, and you're looking for that fatigue to set in.
Rockets now 21 points off of turnovers. Make it 23.
Hey!
Off the inbounds, Green, short, ricocheted, rebound picked up by Brooks. Tari Eason with authority. He steals the ball, drives, scores, Tari Eason.
He's putting on a show right now. And he read that one a mile away.
Outside to Bol. Bol ties it up. Green on the move, into the paint, the step, the flip, back tap, and they're going to call a goaltend on Bol.
It looked like a weird goal. I mean,
it was wild, it was crazy, it was unconventional, but it was a goaltend. Rockets by 2. So Green off the Şengün pick, pulling back, the 3 is in the air, and it rams down. Washington misses, rebound, Thompson, and the Rockets will win the game.
The final game before a much-needed All-Star break was against Jimmy Butler and the new-look Golden State Warriors.
Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star, get the show on, get paid. And all that glitters is gold, only shooting stars. Somebody once asked, could I spare some change for gas? I need to get myself away from this place.
They're daring the Rockets to shoot threes, because Şengün airball 3. The 74th All-Star Game at Chase Center on Sunday. All the events throughout the weekend. The Rising Stars, the dunk competition, three-point contest, skills challenge.
The Rockets struggled throughout, and by the fourth quarter Ime Udoka benched most of the starters as Aaron Holiday's determined effort helped make the final score look much more favorable than it should have been.
I said, yeah, what a concept. I could use a little fuel myself, and we could all use a little change. Well, the years life to the rules and I'll hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You'll never know if you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow.
3-1 since the acquisition of Jimmy Butler, and everybody's going to enjoy the All-Star weekend.
With 2/3 of the season already played, the Houston Rockets were fourth in a highly competitive and ever-changing Western Conference.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. And all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold.
Rising, you're not there yet? Bro, you're not there yet? Over here.
We got to get to the championship so we can
yeah.
beat them. There you go. And I'm a guard.
You know some Coach Wars, right? What do you mean, the Wars? No, Wards. Wards? ID? I don't know, maybe. No. ID. ID? ID means like, come on. Okay, background, don't say background, okay.
The Houston Rockets hadn't made any big trades at the deadline like their fellow Texas teams and conference rivals, but the growth of Amen Thompson and newly assumed leadership roles for Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green gave the fanbase confidence of continued success.
My Houston Rockets, they are here. I'm wearing red for a reason. They have already beaten who? The Oklahoma City Thunder. They've beaten the Cleveland Cavaliers twice. They've beaten the Memphis Grizzlies thrice. Our prayers have finally been answered. What's the word for that?
Amen.
Amen, baby.
They were hopeful they would shake off their recent poor form and regain the energy and intensity that they were playing with in December and January. This would be helped by the impending returns of Jabari Smith and Fred VanVleet. The team would spend the next week recuperating and getting ready for the final stretch of the season that would hopefully continue past April, into May and potentially even June.